everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Skin Deep podcast. This is your go-to source for everything skin health and self-care, especially when it comes to eczema, dermatitis, and other skin conditions. I'm your host, Mekisha Banks. So today I wanted to go over a topic that I realize is kind of getting a little bit more attention on the social media front, especially on TikTok. So there is a treatment that people are going out and getting done, whether it's in Indonesia, but it's in more so Asia, in terms of getting treatments for their chronic eczema, or they are relieving themselves from TSW symptoms. And that is called CAP treatment. Okay, so CAP treatment. So I've been using something similar to CAP treatment to help me with my skin repair. So I wanted to go over these two topics because I feel like they're getting a lot of attention. So I wanted to break down some information for you so that you know if it is worth it or if it's not, or what's the difference? What can you do at home? Because, these treatments are not exactly cheap. Okay, so again, let's get started. We're going to go over the different types of treatments that are available that are comparable to the CAP treatment, which is high frequency. We're going to go over the benefits, the differences, where they are helping you, and where you can use them on your eczema or dermatitis or TSW healing journey. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so for high frequency, that's what I've been using the most. I have not done the CAP treatment because, one, I can't afford it. It's not in my budget, but I didn't feel like I needed to use a CAP treatment. So that's the reason why I haven't. So I've been using HF, which is known to be high frequency, not hydrofacial. Okay. So high frequency, what is it? So it uses an electrode, that glass electrode that uses either argon or neon gas. Okay. So what it's ideally doing, it is using electricity to expel through that hand piece to create like a gas over the skin, and that gas will pretty much fall over top of the skin. It slightly penetrates into the skin, or meaning into the open pores, and then it penetrates into the skin, but ideally it's more so surface level. So when we're talking about high frequency, it is really creating that ozone. That ozone goes over the skin, and it starts to penetrate into the skin, and it helps, giving the skin certain benefits. So I've been using that for my skin, and it's been in the aesthetic world for decades. It's one of the OGs, the old original ways of treating the skin before we had all of these new up and coming types of technologies. So this is the original way of treating the skin for acne, breakouts, if you have bacterial over the skin, if you want to circulate or have improve circulation on the skin, and even reduce some inflammation on the skin. That's what high frequency was used for. So it was mainly used cosmetically on the face, not so much on the body. But because I have so many different modalities in my home, I decided to take it out because I know that it was good for so many different reasons. That's what I decided to use on my skin. Now, CAP treatment, known as cold atmospheric plasma, that treatment is similar to high frequency, but it does penetrate the skin at a much deeper level. So for example, when you're looking at that type of technology, what does it produce? It produces an ionized gas, an ionized gas that goes into the skin. And what that does, it does it at a much deeper level. So it's not only surface level, but it's at a cellular level. So that's why people that are having chronic rashes, itches, inflammation of the skin, that's why it's very beneficial, because it actually goes so deep into the skin at a cellular level to help in terms of managing their symptoms. So it reduces inflammation, inflammation, it kills bacteria, it helps with circulation, it helps wound repair, it does it at a very deep level. So the reason why people are going for cap treatment more than using high frequency, because one, high frequency isn't talked about and it's very underrated in the industry, but it's because it's not going to do the same level of repair to the skin at the same stages. So for example, I'm using high frequency only at stage 3 to stage 4 of skin healing. And again, if you're not familiar with skin healing, I've talked about it at many different episodes, so you can go back to those if you want to know more of the different stages of skin healing. But the stage at skin healing that I'm using it at, it's the proliferation stage and also the remodeling stage. So what does that mean again? There's no broken skin. There's no inflammation. There's no major itching or inflammation there. It's strictly the process of my color coming back to the skin. So this is where my skin has the patches of light color and dark color, and I want my color to come back to its original state. So that's the reason why I'm using the high frequency, because it's helping me push through the skin in terms of the lymphatic drainage and improving my circulation. And that ozone that it's on the skin, it's antifungal, antibacterial. It is going to pretty much help my skin repair at a better rate. So it's much more beneficial, and it will speed up the process, not at a point where I'm not actually treating my skin properly, but it's not lingering. It's not slowly pushing the lymph out of my skin. It's actually doing it at a faster pace, and I can smell it too. You'll smell it when you're doing the process, where your skin just feels, it smells like it's getting rid of smells like iron in a way. So you'll smell that when you're using the actual process. Whereas here's the thing, when you're doing cap treatment, you're doing this straight from step 1 or stage 1. So that's why people are using it, because they can't get to stage 3 of proliferation. They're still stuck in stage 1 and 2, where they're going through that, inflammation, the itchy, the redness, and so forth, and they just can't get over it. The body is just not switching over. So that's the reason why people are using the cap treatment, because it's actually helping them get through that stage better. So it will calm the inflammation down. It will repair the skin faster. It will support the skin barrier. It will allow product penetration much better into the cells. So then that way they get through the inflammation stage smoothly and more rapidly and get straight into that remodeling stage. So that's the reason why cap treatment is really popular. Now let's go through a few things in terms of price point. So the only issue that I'm having in terms of the price point is the cap treatment. I've been noticing, and you really can't find it anywhere online, the treatments for cap is well in the thousands. It's not just like a cheap $4,000, thing. It's an investment, and I've seen it go for north of 10,000. And that's it's an expensive treatment. And again, some places are giving you like a home, meaning your residency. So you're staying there for a month or a few weeks, because you're doing the treatment across a few days. They're helping you in terms of nutrition. They're helping you with the post care as well, and the mental health, right? So there's a lot of components that are being offered in it, and then there's follow-up treatments. And then of course there's also the flight to get to the place. So that's why that treatment is not very accessible to everyone, and a lot of people are going online and getting FundMe. They're getting other things that are assisting them. They're taking out loans and so forth just to be able to get this treatment done. And I don't disregard or deny it's not important, because some people are really struggling with it, especially the severity of the steroid creams that they use, or the mental health patterns, the nervous system issues that they're going through. So I completely resonate in terms of why someone has to go to getting cap treatment, because they're struggling and they just can't get over that inflammation stage. For others where they are getting past the inflammation stage because they're understanding their body, they know what their body triggers are, they're controlling their gut, they're helping support their skin barrier on the external. It's just like, okay, I just want to get to that final part of the race, if you call it, or the marathon. That's where high frequency is accessible, because a high frequency machine itself is just about $100 Canadian. Now imagine, convert that into any other dollar value, it's less than $100. So when I look at that as a tool, it's definitely helpful, even for your skin, for anti-aging, or for acne, or your back acne, or any other acne areas. It's very helpful in that case. So, when I look at $100, 10,000, I definitely made the choice of where I would be more comfortable with high frequency. But unfortunately, high frequency cannot be used on broken skin or the inflammation stage, because again, it's using electricity. So because of that, it's not to say that CAP isn't, but the tool is different, and the way it penetrates into the skin is different. So that's the reason why you won't be able to use that on the broken skin, whereas in CAP can be used on broken skin. So you just have to be very, very mindful, because when I did do it, I was like, I should be fine. I did it and I was like, oh my God, it felt like I was getting electrocuted in my open wound. Whereas in CAP, when I read the research, it's not affecting the skin in that way, and it's not penetrating into the skin that way. So that's the reason why it's going to be a lot more painful when you're using high frequency on open wounds. So again, I do not recommend you try it. If you want to, that's your choice, but I already did, and I was like, no, it's okay. It hurt. So you definitely don't want to do that. Okay. So in terms of price point, that's where it's a little bit different. Now, in terms of the application of high frequency, you want to do it on clean skin. So I did take a shower. I didn't put any products on my skin, and I used the tool directly onto my skin with contact. If you don't want to use contact, you don't have to. If you're going to use a product, the only thing you want to use is like a powder clay. So meaning kaolin clay that you could use, or oatmeal clay. Like a clay could be used on the skin, but not like an essential oil, because one, they're being heated and tampered with the electrolyte, and two, you don't want that to heat up and stimulate on the skin in the wrong way, like chemically. So that's why you want to use it on clean skin only. Okay. So that's in terms of the application. So again, the benefits of using high frequency again versus CAP, if you're doing this at home, it really is profound. I found my skin returning to its color much faster. I really, really loved seeing my skin go from that darkness, from when your skin is healing the proliferation stage, just like if you have a cut or a wound, it's going to be darker because you're basically getting hyperpigmentation. So PIH is usually what happens after trauma has affected the skin. And when PIH happens, you may not get your original color back unless the skin is hydrated, protected, and that circulation is present. So that's why a lot of people will get scars on their body or on their face, because it's lack of hydration. You need hydration in the skin, and you need to protect the skin with that skin barrier protection, so that way the skin will return back to its original color. So that's why I'm not necessarily a fan of the no moisture treatment. So a lot of people have attested to the no moisture treatment for eczema. I'm going to be honest, if you're a person of color that is, in Fitzpatrick scale 4 and 5, like myself, you may get discoloration if there's no moisture to the skin. When you are darker skin tone, you may not see the discoloration because the color of that hyperpigmentation is similar to the color of your skin. So that's why it's important to hydrate your skin to prevent PIH from happening. So that's why you hydrate the skin, you hydrate internally with your electrolytes and your trace minerals and your water, and then you put a thicker barrier of product on the skin. So whether that is a butter or an oil, I would suggest a butter at the proliferation stage. So then that way your skin is more protected with something that's thicker, like a humectant. So then that way you're not getting transepidermal water loss. Okay. And then again, you want to make sure that it's not exposed to the sun, because if it's exposed to the sun, you're going to get more hyperpigmentation because of the sun, right? So you don't want those UVA, UVB rays going in and pigmenting the skin. So that's the reason why I liked using it, and I made sure I use it at that stage. So then that way it would help me with my circulation in terms of the lymph, getting the lymph and that bad bacteria or the bad cells and the bad material out of my body. And then I would hydrate my skin, so then I get those good minerals into my body so that it would support what I was doing using that high frequency machine. Okay, other points that I have here in terms of the cap treatment, like I said, it's amazing for people that are really stuck in that inflammation stage, and it's because of the things such as reducing inflammation. Okay, this speeds up the wound healing. It really supports that skin barrier. It treats chronic eczema or chronic inflammation in the skin. So if you are really on that journey of TSW and you're struggling, it may be something that you may want to look into, but you have to remember how to support your skin when you're done that treatment. And I find when you are done that treatment, the thing that you're dealing with after is post-traumatic stress. So again, your nervous system is still dealing with the trauma of what you've been through. So that's where sometimes people relapse, and it's because their nervous system needs to be reprogrammed. And that's a full paradigm shift that you're going through. And that's the last part of your healing, which is what I'm going through right now, is the nervous system. Okay, so that's pretty much everything there in terms of the difference between high frequency and cap treatment. They're nothing short of beneficial on this journey, and it's not one better than the other. They both serve their own purpose at different stages, and they are both helpful. So it's not to deny either one, it's just to see if one fits in your budget, your plan, and what stage you're at, and see if they work for you. But otherwise, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions and further clarification, or even to see me use the machine, you can head over to our social media on TikTok and on Instagram. You'll see me using the high frequency machine. You'll see some before and after photos of when I've used it. And it's been, I think now 2 months since I've been using it. I don't use it every day, but I do use it frequently in order to help with my skin, and it does dramatically help. So I would love for you to head over to those social media pages just to see them. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. And again, my name is Mekisha, CEO and founder of Everbella, and Everbella is the sponsor of this podcast. And if you are looking for a 30-day trial set to treat your eczema, dermatitis, or dry or sensitive skin conditions, check out our show notes. You'll see some links that will bring you over to some trial sets so that you can see if our products are meant for you, as they are chemically free, paraben free, fragrance free. They're all natural, organic, and they are handmade. So I hope you like them. All right. Thank you. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Skin Deep podcast. Don't forget to download your free guide to our 10 hacks to great skin. Just check the link in our bio. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Have an amazing day, everyone, and enjoy your self-care Sunday.